Today's
CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by the Exogen Temporal Scanner. I'm Matt Piper in New York. President Biden says his meeting with Germany's new chancellor was productive and that the two are on the same page when it comes to Russia possibly invading Ukraine.
Germany and the United States, together with our allies and partners, are working closely together to pursue diplomatic resolutions of this situation. And diplomacy is the very best way forward for all sides. We both agree.
He says the U.S. has vowed to impose a series of economic penalties on Moscow should it invade.
Today, the Chancellor and I discussed our close cooperation, developed a strong package of sanctions that are going to clearly demonstrate international resolve and impose swift and severe consequences if Russia violates Ukraine's sovereignty.
Gas prices right now at an 8-year high could be affected even more if Russia invades. Andrew Gross is with AAA.
If Russia does invade and then the West puts sanctions on Russia, Russia will retaliate by withholding oil from the global market. So that will be less oil in an already tightened oil marketplace. That kind of fear is also feeding into what we're seeing in terms of oil prices.
New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy is ending the wearing of masks in schools thanks to decreasing numbers of COVID-19 cases.
We're announcing this with plenty of advance notice for our schools and child care settings, for our students and their families, our educators and support staff, to determine how this will impact them and to finalize any steps they may need to make in preparation.
I'm Stephen Portnoy at the White House, where the press secretary isn't criticizing the Democratic governor of New Jersey, despite the fact that the CDC still recommends universal masking in schools.
That still remains our recommendation.
Press Secretary Jen Psaki wouldn't directly answer whether the White House disagrees with Phil Murphy's decision to let local officials decide. I asked Psaki if Murphy's move is another indication the public is soured on mandates.
We certainly understand and have seen in polling that the public is tired of COVID. We understand that. So are we.
The world's coastlines are eroding. Some disturbing new research reveals that only 15% of coastal areas around the world remain intact and that urgent coastal rehabilitation efforts are needed. This study comes from the University of Queensland, where researchers map the impacts of human activity on coastal regions around the world. Coastal regions are important because they contain high levels of biodiversity, and millions of people rely on them as sources of food and also as barriers providing protection from storms. Ben Tracy, CBS News, Washington. CBS TV affiliate KEPR is reporting one person's been killed in a shooting at a Fred Meyer grocery store in Richland, Washington. At the close, the Dow gained 1 point. This is CBS News.
Well, that's today's news. Today's news. I didn't hear any good news, did you? I didn't think so. I guess it's all about perspective. The glass is half full. Well, as always, I want to thank you again for coming along with me on these Dash Cam News adventures. You know the drill. Peace, love, and all that hippie jazz. Bye-bye, everybody. Hello. Can I get 2 doubles with onions for the car? And that's it.
Right on 1046.
Thank you, Eva.